The family dynamic becomes more complex and we get treated to a huge and brutal battle. This is spoilers for Invincible episode 5. Hello everyone, welcome to Invincible Central. My name's MJ and today we're going to be talking about episode 5. We're going to be talking about spoilers for the episode, so turn off now if you don't want to see those, and I'll try to keep any comic spoilers to a minimum. So the episode opens with Titan and we get to catch up with him, see what's going on with him. And my first point that I want to mention is that the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. Some friends who aren't into comics actually messaged me last week and they said how good the soundtrack is. Yeah, this opens with such good music and really fitting for the scene with all the the urban gangsters sort of stuff. It's also horrifically violent as well, as this screenshot shows. Yeah, of course it is. It's Invincible, but yeah, really cool scene, and yeah, really good to get more excellent voice talent from Mahershala Ali, who is just brilliant as Titan. So we then see Machine Head and Isotope, and we see that this is going to be hopefully, or probably from trailers and whatnot, we sort of had an idea anyway, but this is like the big episode with like the Penthouse battle. Machine Head was absolutely brilliant. I loved his voice, how it had this like digitized sort of sound to it, and it almost wavered into like rhythmic, almost singing points, which I really liked. It was really unique, and I really liked the designs here as well. And he was a really well portrayed character. So this next screenshot that I've got, oh, got a bump in my throat. So this next screenshot that I've got, I had to amp up the colours in Photoshop, because when I was watching this on my lovely television, the colours really popped and it looked incredible, bright, and I loved the combination of like the blues and the pinks in the stars. It looked absolutely amazing. I didn't quite capture that detail from the screenshot on my computer from Amazon Prime, so I amped up the colours in Photoshop. And yeah, I just want to say the colours in this episode in particular were amazing. Like this scene here looked incredible. And there was also a scene later on where Invincible was flying near the plane where I really loved the colours of the sky and the clouds. So visually, I absolutely love a lot of what this show is doing. There's also a couple of moments throughout this episode where Nolan is reaffirming to Mark that he needs to be keeping an eye on the bigger picture stuff, and more sort of statements of like the general day-to-day hero stuff being beneath him, which is obviously causing problems with the family. I want to say a note about Amber here as well. Amber is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love Amber in the show. I think her role is a little bit expanded in comparison to the comics, but I think she's given a lot more development, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see the way that Mark treats her. Obviously he does treat her well, but this being late the whole time is obviously a huge issue. Now this isn't something that we haven't seen before in superhero genres. Obviously it's very much a Spider-Man sort of trope, but I honestly think Amber is probably a better character than Mary Jane. I think in a lot of the media that Mary Jane is portrayed in, she doesn't come across as a very interesting person, to me personally. That's just my own personal thoughts. Whereas Amber, she's very kind, forgiving, she's funny, and yeah, it kind of hurts to see Mark treat her this way. Don't treat me this way. Even though we all sort of know, it's hard because like you want him to end up with Atom Eve eventually, right? Speaking of Atom Eve, so we see her family. I also really like the storytelling element here of the viewers being given like a brief description of what her powers actually are. This is the first time we've heard that she rearranges atoms, so they just slip that in, which I thought was really nice. And we also see Atom Eve's troubles at home. And then there's that really horrible scene at the Grayson family dinner, where Nolan is just continuing down this path of sort of just losing it and letting the mask slip and showing how he just doesn't care, and how at odds his values are with Debbie. So this is really amazing to see, and it's obviously laying the foundation, the groundwork for things to come. So this show continues to surprise me with the new elements that they're bringing into it that don't appear in the comics, whilst they're being incredibly faithful to the comics, which I absolutely love, because that story is so important to me. They're nailing so many beats, like just this whole episode in general, the whole Penthouse and Titan coming to power sort of episode is just done so well. It's adapted so well from the comics, but we are getting these little nuggets, these little scenes in which don't really happen in the comics and which are absolutely brilliant, such as the Guardians of the Globe, or the new Guardians of the Globe, reviewing their battle with the Lizard League. I also like the sort of cameo appearance of the Lizard League here. We do actually see some of the designs on the sort of hologram that they've got set up where they're reviewing the battle, and you also hear sort of basically how funny / pathetic they are with the was it the Snake-orator the gun was called, which Shrinking Ray was embarrassed to even say, which is brilliant and funny. And again, this show, the humour again, this show had me laughing out loud multiple times this episode. But yeah, I love them reviewing this battle, and again further conflict in the Guardians, and again with the battle at the end of the episode we see that this is still not a team that is working well together. So again, it's the development of this. And it's the development of all the characters in this show that is just absolutely fantastic. It's really interesting to see the one of the themes from the one of their sort of things that happens in the comics is that they will just throw in a random page of a random plot line that they're just ticking along, and we get something similar with that here in this episode with just one scene for the Mauler twins where Robot meets them and basically, I think he's essentially revealing himself to be the one that helped them get out of prison here, and he's saying that he needs their help in creating a body basically. Now this is really interesting because by this point in the comics, i.e. the issue of the Penthouse battle, I believe is issue 18 in the comics, I believe, something like that. And by this point in the comics, we'd already had the introduction of one of my favourite characters. I'm going to say their name is Angstrom Levy. And the introduction of Angstrom Levy is slightly related to the Mauler twins. And this sort of plot point with Robot is fairly similar. So, I don't know, there's still 5 episodes left. It still feels like Angstrom could show up. I'm becoming quite hopeful, albeit there might be a little bit of overlap with this storyline, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Objection, speculation, sustained.
God.
And then the climax of the episode was the actual Penthouse battle itself. Oh my god, it looked incredible. I think this is the first time we've actually seen the Guardians of the Globe, the new Guardians of the Globe, working together in an actual fight. So that was really cool. It was brutal, and Battle Beast was phenomenal. The whole scene as well is expanded from the comics. I think a lot of the scenes will be. We saw that with the climax of episode 1 as well. But this was also greatly expanded, and there was a really good variety of powers on display here, and there was a really good display of again, something that we saw in episode 1 is how well the heroes can work together. Whilst they all get their asses kicked, they did actually work together really well towards the end of the battle with like the alphabet magnets. Alphabet, brilliant, that's stupid to say that, but the alphabet magnets and Rexplode charging them up, and then all working together was brilliant, and the action was just superb. And then the brutality of Battle Beast smashing Invincible up, and the blood everywhere was insane, and then he looked super beat up with his really red and bloodied eye. Wow, really, really good battle. And then the ending, the sort of little twist that Titan is taking over this empire, that was really cool. And then the very ending is a very interesting plot point, which isn't exactly done in the comics. I mean, they do similar things, but this is new, which is the government experimenting on Mark's blood. So really interesting stuff. So it was another brilliant episode. This might even have been my favourite episode, actually. I think they just absolutely nailed it. The way that they are adapting the comic is tremendous, and I just think it is a phenomenal show. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.